The Beit HaLevi was a known tzaddik, a known righteous person. And he was also a judge. One day when the Beit HaLevi was sitting in his Beit Midrash learning with his son, Rav Chaim, he was learning Torah with his son. A local butcher walks into the Beit Midrash and starts to shout at the Beit HaLevi. And every negative thing you could possibly think of starts coming out of his mouth. What had happened? The Beit HaLevi had recently been a judge in a court case between this local butcher and somebody else. And it turned out that the local butcher lost the case. Now this butcher had come to give a piece of his mind to the judge that had judged unfavorably in his case. And what did he say? He said, You call yourself a rabbi, you're a nobody, you're a nothing, you were paid off. The other side paid you off to judge the case in their favor. You think I don't know? The Beit HaLevi's son says, his father gets up, puts on his jacket, listen to this, puts on his jacket, comes in front of the butcher, and he puts his head down, and he says, I feel your pain. I know where you're coming from. I am mochel you. I am mochel you. I am mochel you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I have no hard feelings. I have no anger against you. I have nothing against you. And this guy, the entire time, he's not stopping. He keeps on going. And the entire time, the Beit HaLevi is standing there going, I still forgive you. I have no hard feelings against you. You're hurt. You're hurting right now. I know how you feel. I'm sorry about the way you feel. There was nothing else I can do. I forgive you. I forgive you. Until the guy literally runs out of breath. He couldn't scream anymore at the Beit HaLevi. He starts to walk out. What does he do? He walks outside with him and he says, I forgive you. I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. I have no hard feelings against you. This was watched by people in the Beit Midrash. And his son says he could see that his father was shaken. Even when he came back to his learning, he was really shaken up by the whole episode. I mean, who could take such a thing? The next day, this local butcher was in his butcher shop and he was in his factory, and he had gotten a recent shipment of bulls for him to shecht, and he was leading the bulls into his slaughterhouse, and one of the bulls gets startled and startles the rest of the animals, and a stampede starts. Within minutes, they trample the butcher and he dies a very severe death. Bar minan lo alem. The news comes to the Beit Midrash, to the Beit HaLevi. Everyone telling the Beit HaLevi, everyone obviously understanding that this was a work of God. It had never happened before. They come and tell him, the butcher, just got trampled by his animals in a very horrific death and he's gone. The Beit HaLevi starts to cry. He starts to sob. And during the kivurah, when the burial happened, he stood there after everybody was gone and he was crying at the kever saying, Machul lecha, I forgave you. I truly forgave you. He felt horrible at the fact that he felt someone got punished because of him. So much anguish he had that his son, Reb Chaim, had to come to him and say, I remember you were mochelim in public hundreds of times. It's not you, it's not your fault. And he would turn to his son and say, you do remember, I said I'm mochelim, I truly meant it. He says, yes, but we remember, everybody remembers. But that didn't do it for him. For 11 months, the Beit HaLevi makes Kaddish for this butcher. The guy that was attacked, he says Kaddish for the butcher that embarrassed him publicly. That was saying to everyone that the Beit HaLevi was paid off. It's easy for us to think like, it was the Beit HaLevi, it was a great chacham, it was a great... But every rabbi in their own generation, until they pass on, some people in their generation don't see them as that great. Unfortunately. So obviously it hurt him, Anybody would have gotten hurt. But he forgave. For 11 months he says Kaddish for this guy. And every single year on the yard site of the butcher, until the end of his own life, on the yard side, he finished all of Mishnayot for the zechut of this butcher. That is true feeling the pain of Am Yisrael. Here's a person that did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. He did everything right. And it was like a sign from Hashem that he did everything right. But for him, not good enough. For a Jew to get hurt because of him, not good enough. He couldn't have it. He couldn't take it. If that's how we should feel about another person, if that's how the Beit HaLevi felt about another person that was trying to hurt him in public, how are we supposed to feel about HaKadosh Baruch Hu that does everything for us on a minute-to-minute basis? How much appreciation and how much love should we have towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu? When we do something wrong against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we seriously, in all sincerity, we should feel in a way that we should put our heads down in shame. Because all we get from Hashem is love. All we get from Hashem is support. And here the Beit HaLevi was given so much hardship from one person, and he returned all of it with love. What should we do when we only get love from Hashem? We should at least appreciate everything that Hashem does for us. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.